Aloha everyone, I am Carrie and I am back with another just general message for the collective. Today I am using the Starseed Oracle. I really like this deck. It's nice to get more like higher level messages, let's say, and if you identify with being a Starseed, this is definitely going to be for you. All right, I'm just going to start out by getting a few cards and then we'll move on to clarify the messages. General message for the collective. Okay, we've got surrender to sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. The great severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. That's like perfect opposites, Venus and Mars. And then karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict. All right. This is about relationships. Pretty obvious to tell. We've got Venus and Mars. What is the little thing? Men are from Mars. I don't know the taunt. There's a little chant. I'm sure if you know it, it's popping in your head right now. But that's what I'm thinking about, that little chant. Sweetness versus conflict. And then karmic relationships. Anybody going through a karmic relationship right now? If you are, this is definitely for you. It's like, hey, listen, you don't have to go through that. Literally, what I'm seeing from these three cards alone is saying, surrender to sweetness. You don't have to be in that angry conflict energy. Just opt out. Walk away. There's no need to go through it. There's a reason that we call these relationships karmic relationships, because they're giving you, I was talking about complete opposites. This card is saying polarity, soul growth. They're showing you opposites. They're showing you, like, sometimes you might be stuck in one position. You might be like, this is what love is to me. And that might have been what you were taught when you were young, that love was like, if I was being good, if I was following the rules, and if I was rewarded, then that's what love is. So I'm going to find relationships where people tell me who I am, like, oh, you're a good person, oh, you're a bad person. You know what I mean? Like, you might start falling for relationships like that. And then there might be someone who shows you a whole other different way of loving, but you, because you know this Mars and conflicting energy, this judgmental energy is love, you don't accept that. And so you continue to go into these other relationships that are karmic, or that are showing you this polarity of like, this is love. But you could go over this other side and choose this to be love. There's a scale there. So you're getting all of these relationships and they're showing you where you are on the scale, basically, what you believe on the scale. I know for me, I started over here with conflict and I've been slowly working my way over here to sweetness. Like, oh, that guy that I just thought was like too soft and too sweet. Actually, I may have been the one that was too much of something. Meanwhile, I'm judging this person for not being tough enough, where it was me who was learning how to be softer in love at that time. So now I have a new idea of what love really is, and I'm not running back to the things that I was taught as a child, that love was punishment, love was getting in trouble and being, whipped or hit. You accept that as what love is because that's what you were taught. I tell so many people that love is it's a spectrum to me. When we're little tiny babies, love is us getting our food. And if we don't get our food, then we have a tantrum. That's also love, because we're like, hey, I'm communicating with you. I'm going to scream at you. Where's my food? You know what I mean? But if you try to love people like that as an adult, that is not going to work. So love is a spectrum. We are learning what types of love we actually want in our life. And that's what these karmic relationships are showing you. But if you don't like it, if there's a lot of anger and conflict, learn that you don't have to do it. You don't have to put up with it. It's showing you what you do and do not like. These are what these relationships are here to show you, especially if they keep happening over and over again. And you're like, I thought I learned this lesson. And maybe you have learned it, but you haven't learned to walk away yet. You know what I mean? You can learn the lesson, but you might be used to sticking around or staying because that's to you what love is. Love is perseverance, even through the hard times. And maybe the lesson for you is not that you don't like these types of relationships because you know that already. Maybe the lesson for you is you do not have to stay in those types of relationships. Let's get some more clarifying cards. And I just had a thought too. We're talking about love like in romantic relationships, but love is not just romance. Love is an energy that you see every day, that you walk in every day. So it can be coming up as relationships between friends. It can even be relationships between you and your coworkers, your bosses. If you're the one that's always doing the extra work at work, maybe that's how you receive love when you're at work. But if you're overworking yourself because of that, like you don't have to say yes every time they call you in. You don't have to, show up when other people aren't showing up. You don't have to be the one who goes above and beyond all the time. That is not your job. Your job is to take care of yourself. Because you're the only one that can do that. All right. Just going to move these so you can see them. There we go. So surrender to sweetness. That is being clarified by water your garden. Nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. This looks nice. Like if I were taking a bath like this, under the stars in this beautiful pool with all these flowers around, I think I would be nourished. I think I would feel fulfilled. I think I would be feeling like I was watering my garden or like pouring into myself. And the interesting thing about love is that you can tune to that frequency. You don't have to let someone else show you. And that's what I'm seeing here, like Venus energy, surrender to sweetness. So if you don't know how you want to be loved, but you have continuously been loved in ways that you do not like being loved, maybe your friends that don't, love you properly because you wish they just show up for you in certain instances and just be there by your side whenever you need them to, but they are always busy. And you're like, what are friends even for if they can't be there for me? Like maybe you have that feeling. And so you're understanding like, this is what I need when it comes to friendships, but I have never received it. Well, let me give it to myself. Let me always be there and show up for myself. Whenever there's a time when I need to be performing in a certain way, let me make sure I'm giving myself the nourishment that I need so that I can show up like I need to. Before I was getting that from my friends, or I was trying to get that from my friends, but let me get it from myself. Let me show up for myself. That's just one example of you watering your garden, preparing yourself, making sure you're good. But even when it comes to like your everyday life, if you're preparing yourself for your everyday life by making sure you have your meals prepped, if you do meal prepping, or even that you have food in your refrigerator so that you can eat, like you're spending your money on things that are going to improve your life. Like you're really pouring into yourself, doing the self-love, self-care things that you like to do. So getting massages if you do that, or taking trips if that's what you do. Whatever you need to do to make sure you're good. If you haven't seen the love on the outside that you need to receive, make sure you have it on the inside. And then the great severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict being clarified by portal. Doors are opening. You decide. Rewards, wild card. It's like there's a choice you have right now. Do you stay in this same Mars energy, this conflict energy, or do you choose to go and walk away to somewhere else? Because if you're choosing to go somewhere else, then right now is a good time to make that choice. Because there's options there. That's what I'm seeing in this portal card. There's other options. Maybe in the past we were stuck in the same old, because it was wrapped up, like if it was a job, we were stuck at that job because it was wrapped up in our education. That's all we knew. There were really no other options for this degree that we had, or whatever, or this skill or ability we had, or the place that we lived in. But we know now that there's so many other options. So there's opportunities out there right now, in this moment, for you to go and choose something different. If it's a job that's causing you this conflict, if it's a relationship, there's other people around. There's other options. There's so many little apps and stuff online if you want to find something different. It's not hard anymore. And then karmic relationships is being clarified by star bathing. Light body crystal grid transmission activation. So when I've read the card about star bathing, like I've read this in the deck, and it's like a very specific thing where you go outside and you allow the stars to like it's kind of like just laying under the stars. If you sleep under the stars and you're able to get the energy of the stars. But I'm thinking of this way, way, way more literally. I'm really thinking about this as you doing something to change your energy. Like you're going out, you might be getting Reiki done, you might be getting therapy, you might be deciding to move somewhere to be around people who are more in alignment with you. Like instead of being in the same loop of this same cycle of having these same karmic relationships, you're going out there and doing something different to make a change. I'm just going to read star bathing here. The stars are constantly showering emanations onto the crystalline grid of the earth. When things are in balance, the planet also sends information back up to the stars. Many starseeds have come to Earth at this time to help shift the planet vibrationally, to achieve the ancient codes of wisdom that humanity has forgotten, and all that information is stored in the crystalline grid. If you pull this card, you may be called to begin working with the stars and crystalline grid of the Earth. Some people believe that the grid of the Earth anchors divine cosmic frequencies into the planet. So I can continue reading this, but I really just want to say this is about you making different decisions than what you made before. When it comes to the crystalline grid of the planet, I'm just thinking about if you lived in this one place and you did things a certain way every single time, then that's how you're always going to do things. But if you decide to move, even down the street, even around the corner, even if you move jobs, move people, do you know what I mean? If you decide to make a change, all new energy is going to come into your life, because that's just what happens when you make a change. Everything's new. Everything's beginning again. So whether you decide to move or move houses or move people or move jobs, that is what this energy of this reading is calling you to do. It's calling you to make a change when it comes to choosing love and how you receive love and how you accept love. Because I guess you can't really control how people give love out to you. But you can certainly control whether or not you are willing to receive that and willing to continue to be around those same people. So I'm going to do 3 more clarifying cards to wrap this up, and I really just want to get some advice. What's the advice for this message? Jump in. I said 3, but I'm feeling 2. Too many. Woo. Okay. So we've got jump in, Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. And then we've got the seas of Mintaka, seeing potential, bringing unconscious to light. This is the exact same advice I was just talking about. If you want to make a change in your life, you just have to do it. It's saying jump in, make that change. It's saying jump in, and then boom, the seas of Mintaka. So these are the Starseed Oracle cards. So these are talking about like Starseed, I don't know why I want to call them families, Starseed families. So maybe you feel like you're a part of these families. But either way, the message that I'm seeing is it's time for you to make a change. Go out there and find something new, try something new, try something different. If you've been dating the same way, figure out a new way to date. If you've been applying for jobs the same way, apply differently. If a change is what you're ready and willing to make. But understand that we are on a journey in this life. And if you don't ever go anywhere or do anything if you don't ever go anywhere or do anything differently from what you've been doing your entire life, then it's not going to be possible for anything to change. So it's time for you to jump in, take a leap. Take a leap in the deep end. See what it brings you. So I would, if you are starseed yourself, look up Andromeda. Also look up Mintaka. It's an ancient civilization. And see if that resonates with you. See if those energies resonate with you. Even doing some research about that, like about star seeds and whether or not, trying to see whether or not you resonate with any of the star seed families could be helpful to you. Because each of these families have kind of different characteristics that they carry and different missions here on this earth. And if you resonate with that, being more knowledgeable about the family that you're a part of can definitely be more helpful for you, even because certain families love a certain way. Like the Pleiadians love a different way than, say, the Andromedans, than, say, the Syrians. Everybody has their own different unique characteristics and way they love. So maybe if you want to find something different, find a new way of loving, do a little bit more research about star seeds, different star seed families, figure out which one you resonate with, and then kind of understand better those characteristics and how that works for you, and how maybe you can be learning some of the lessons that it seems like those families came on this earth to either teach or learn. Okay, that is your message to contemplate. Whew, thank you all so much for being here, paying attention, reading this. And I just say shout out to all the star seeds out there. It is a difficult journey, but I think it's a fun one, personally.